Welcome. In front of me is a Motorola Edge 50 Pro, and today I'll show you a couple tweaks and tricks you can do on this device. So to get started, let's open up our settings. And in here, I'm going to begin with the personalize category. Now in here you can personalize a bunch of different things like fonts, themes, wallpapers, always on displays, fingerprint animations, and so on. So this is just a straight up section for just customizing your look of the device. Now, one of the more interesting options here would be the things like the colors. So here you can change what the actual colors of these toggles are, and certain like accent colors will be. So that's a pretty nice option. You also have the fingerprint animation if you have that assigned, but we only have like limits to 3 of them. Which doesn't really give you too much customization, at least in this case. We also have, for some reason, a dark mode in here. So if you want to use dark mode, you can enable it in here. But I do believe there's also an option to do that in the display section, which I will go into later on. Now, switch back. So let's go to the display section. And yep, there we have the dark mode. Now, unlike the previous page, I will be honest, the previous one looked a little bit more premium, nicer in terms of how it was designed. So here we just have a couple of sliders and so on. So you want to turn on your dark mode, you can just do it right here, or you can set it up on a schedule. So right here, and we have a couple options. So we have none, turn on at a custom time, turn off at a turn on from sunset to sunrise, or turn on at bedtime. I'm not sure how it defines bedtime, so let's see. Doesn't look like it does do anything. At least I guess it just kind of knows when you're in bed, probably from the time where you're not using your device or something along those lines. But anyway, we can then go back and talk about other things in the display section, like colors. Here you can change your display saturation. I personally find most of the phone displays, specifically like the OLED ones or AMOLED ones, to be a little bit too saturated, specifically when they're enabled by default with vivid option. No, I don't really rag on companies doing this. I do understand that when you're in the store and you have a line of phones from all kinds of manufacturers, the one that will stand out the most is probably the one that has the most flashy colors. Makes sense to put it on vivid. But for day-to-day use, I personally find it to be a little bit tiring, so I myself like to have it set to natural. It is a bit more desaturated tone for the device, but one that is also more realistic. Now we also have the radiant, which I think is actually even more saturated than the vivid. Let's see. Oh, no, but actually, no. So it looks like it's a little bit dimmer. Now below that, we also have the color profiles, or however you want to call it, temperatures. So you have default, which is like smack in the middle, tries to be white. Then you have warm, which is more orange, cool, blue, and custom just allows you to select it from the entire scroll wheel of colors right here. Just kind of showcase this. So there we go. Now going back, we have also things like refresh rate right here. So by default, the device will come with auto, which is actually a good option. I do want to point that out. I am giving this, putting that option, or this is a tweak or whatever you want to call it, in here just for people that maybe want to prioritize battery life, or have some need to have this run in high refresh rate. So by default, auto will be the go-to option, as it utilizes the maximum refresh rate of 144 Hz, but when the display doesn't need to run at this rate, it lowers down to, I think, like 1 frame. Not while we're at it, we can actually check it. So we're gonna go into about phone. It's gonna be here. There we go. So I'm enabling developer options right now, so I can enable the frame rate kind of like thing to show up on a screen, so I can see what frame rate is the device running at any given moment. So in here, let's see if I can find it. There we go. Well, that's not what you want to see. So every time this jumps up, obviously your frame rate would go up. So let's just kind of like get rid of this so it doesn't jump. Okay, so even though this is using a, I believe it's an OLED POLED or whatever it was called, display, it does not go anywhere below 60 frames, which is a bit of a disappointment, to be completely honest. When using displays like this, you would expect it to have the ability to lower below 60 frames to actually, you know, save up a little bit more energy, but it looks like Motorola just kind of ditched that. I do want to also be fair, not every device utilizes this kind of feature or tech, so it's not as uncommon to see this kind of results. But when you have 144 Hz refresh rate, you would expect it to be, well, to drop it below to save battery. So anyway, going back into the display and the refresh rate, you can set it up to be permanently at specific refresh rates like 144, which again that kind of takes away because it's not working like it's supposed to. So yeah, it looks like something is, I think, buggy in here. This is not how these options should be working. As you can see, it just kind of tells you that smoother is lower battery consumption. So then we have higher battery consumption and highest battery consumption. So it kind of shows you the battery consumption, that tries to describe it to you based on the refresh rates, which if it's running at 120, there shouldn't be any difference between this one and this one, as they are identical in its purposes, or maybe not purposes, but the way they function. So there's a chance that once the device gets an update, or maybe if I actually updated this device, this would be fixed, as each one of these options should be permanently running at the specified refresh rate, but they're not right now. Anyway, let's move over to the next options. So here we have also things like the edge lighting. So this just kind of utilizes the curved display. I find it to be kind of useless, maybe a little bit more useful during the nighttime when it's a little bit more visible. This is enabled by default, so if it maybe annoys you, you can turn that off, or you can customize it obviously in here with different colors and so on. Now going back, or going even further down, we have things like flicker prevention. I have never experienced this, so I don't know if it even works, but if you find that you see your screen kind of like flickering, you can enable this, and this should in theory resolve your problem. Like I said, I never seen the screen flicker for me. I guess I don't have like this kind of eye that could see that, but if you are that kind of keen-eyed and this annoys you, obviously, which probably would be, you can try to prevent it in here. Now, last thing that I wanted to talk about is under system and, or not system. Let me search for it. Gestures. So here we have under gestures, which I just searched for it. I don't know where it's actually located. We have the navigation mode, and we have 3-button navigation along with gesture navigation. Now when you enable it, it just enables gesture navigation, which I personally prefer over the button. It just gives you a much nicer way of navigating to the device, specifically when it comes down to the back gestures, as at least for me, I personally love those when combined with the curved display. It makes it feel super nice. Now you also have the settings for this. So when navigating in here, we have a bunch of different things, more than you would typically see in most devices. So number one, it allows you to increase or decrease sensitivity of each left and right edge. So if you find that you're swiping, trying to just kind of like swipe from somewhere, but it activates the back gestures as an example, you could then decrease the sensitivity, and you would need to be more precise with those specific gestures. Additionally, there's also another option here, navigation bar to hide it. It serves no purpose other than visual indication, so I personally like to hide it, and at that point it doesn't get in your way while still keeping the same exact functionality as you are used to. Now, anyway, with that being said, this would conclude the tweaks and tricks I wanted to show you. So if you found this very helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.